Studio Microphone Documentary, The Sinister Reality of Haiti, 2021 to 2026. This video documentary was brought to you by Delmas, Engineer-in-Chief at globalinternet.py. Part 1, The Prelude, A Nation in Turmoil. The reality that Haitians have been living on a daily basis, from 2021 to 2026, is nothing short of a national tragedy. This dark chapter in Haiti's history began immediately after the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse on July 7, 2021. But to understand the full scope of what has happened, we must first look at the period leading up to that fateful day. Before his assassination, the government of Jovenel Moïse was already in a state of crisis. Daily demonstrations erupted across the country, with protesters from almost every sector of Haitian society demanding his resignation. Famous Haitian singers, actors, and a host of politicians dominated the media 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, fueling movements aimed at forcing Jovenel to step down. The presidency was already hanging by a thread, isolated and under siege from all sides. It was an extremely difficult period for the Haitian people. The media narrative was relentless, portraying Jovenel as the obstacle to the nation's progress. Yet despite the overwhelming pressure, Jovenel resisted. He refused to give in. He stood firm until the very morning of his assassination. Part 2, The Assassination, the moment everything changed. On July 7, 2021, President Jovenel Moïse was assassinated in his private residence in Port-au-Prince. The news sent shockwaves through the nation and across the world. In the immediate aftermath, Haitians were left in a state of shock and disbelief. How could the president of the country be killed in his own home, in the middle of the night, by foreign mercenaries? How could this happen in a sovereign nation? Haitians began asking themselves difficult questions. Who was behind this act? How was it possible that the president's security forces were unable to protect him? Many began to suspect that the very people who had orchestrated the campaign to remove him from power might have had a hand in his murder. The perpetrators of this crime had used the people, the protests, and the media narrative to create a climate of instability, and then they struck. Many observers noted that the assassins could have simply exiled Jovenel, as they had done with President Jean-Bertrand Aristide in 2004. But they chose to kill him instead. This decision, as brutal as it was, opened the eyes of many Haitians to the brutal reality of how politics has been managed in Haiti for decades. The assassination was not just a crime, it was a message. It was a declaration that there are no rules, no limits, and no mercy in Haiti's political arena. Part 3, The Aftermath, A Nightmare Unfolds. Since that day, the lives of Haitian families have been transformed into a living nightmare. The political vacuum left by Jovenel's death was immediately filled by armed groups who saw an opportunity to seize control. These gangs, many of which had been operating in the shadows for years, suddenly emerged with unprecedented power and impunity. The streets of Port-au-Prince became a battlefield. The armed groups unleashed a wave of violence, terror, and extortion that has paralyzed the capital and devastated the lives of millions. The atrocities are well documented: massacres, kidnappings, sexual violence, and the burning of entire neighborhoods. Families have been torn apart, children have been orphaned, and communities have been destroyed. Delmas 31 to Delmas 19, Carrefour Aéroport, these are not just names on a map. They represent the daily reality of the Haitian people. These streets, once vibrant and full of life, are now controlled by armed groups who dictate who can pass, who can live, and who will die. They extort money from merchants, kidnap children for ransom, and murder anyone who resists. The so-called protagonists of Haiti's political scene, the leaders, the elites, the power brokers, have used the people as pawns in their dangerous game. From the very beginning, they have manipulated, exploited, and abandoned the Haitian people. Part 4, The Human Cost, The Scattering of a Nation. Faced with unimaginable violence, millions of Haitians have been forced to flee their homes. They have left behind everything they owned, everything they built, and everything they loved. They have sought refuge in camps, makeshift settlements, and even the 2010 earthquake displacement camps, the same camps that were meant to be temporary shelters after the devastating earthquake of January 12, 2010. The irony is staggering. In 2010, Haitians were displaced by an act of nature. In 2021, they were displaced by an act of politics. But the suffering is the same. The tents, the overcrowding, the lack of clean water, the absence of basic sanitation, these are the realities for hundreds of thousands of Haitians today. The ones who have been used and discarded by the political machine are the ordinary Haitian families. They have been sacrificed on the altar of power, their lives treated as nothing more than currency in a transaction between competing factions. And yet, despite it all, they continue to survive. They continue to resist. They continue to hope. Part 5, The Question of Responsibility. Who is responsible for this catastrophe? The assassins? The gangs? The politicians? The foreign powers? The answer, as always, is complex. Haiti's history is a labyrinth of interventions, betrayals, and broken promises. But one thing is clear, those who have exploited the situation for their own gain must be held accountable. Haitians are no longer blind to the manipulations of their leaders. They see the corruption, the greed, and the cynicism that has turned their country into a failed state. They see how the international community has turned a blind eye, how the rich have grown richer, and how the poor have been left to fend for themselves. The assassination of Jovenel Moïse was not a solution. It was a gateway to a more profound disaster. It opened the floodgates for gangs to take over, for the state to collapse, and for the people to suffer. The question now is, what will it take for Haiti to break free from this cycle of violence and impunity? Part 6, A Call to Action. This documentary is not just a record of what has happened, it is a call to action. The time has come for Haitians to stand up and demand justice. The time has come for the international community to acknowledge its responsibility. The time has come for the perpetrators of this tragedy to face the consequences of their actions. Haiti is not a lost cause. The Haitian people have shown time and again that they are resilient, resourceful, and courageous. They have overcome unimaginable challenges. They have rebuilt from the ashes of earthquakes, hurricanes, and dictatorships. They can rebuild again. But they cannot do it alone. They need leaders who will serve, not exploit. They need allies who will support, not manipulate. They need a global community that will act, not just watch. Part 7, Conclusion, A Nation's Resilience. This documentary was brought to you by Delmas, Engineer-in-Chief at globalinternet.py. It was created to honor the resilience of the Haitian people and to raise awareness of the ongoing crisis they face. Let us not forget that behind every statistic is a human being. Behind every headline is a family. Behind every tragedy is a nation fighting for its survival. The story of Haiti is not over. It is still being written. And it is up to us, the living, the aware, the compassionate, to ensure that it ends with justice, with peace, and with dignity. Delmas, Engineer-in-Chief at globalinternet.py. Email delans78@gmail.com. Mobile phone, 509, 4738-5663. Globe with Meridians https://globalinternetctp-abh7v6tnmskxxnplrdcgk.streamlit.app